Welcome to the playoff edition of the NHL Now preview, where we're gonna break down what we think will be the playoffs this year. So we've pretty much predicted what our top four kind of will be in the East and West. What's your Stanley Cup final? Let's go with that.
Okay, well, we'll start with the Western Conference. I'm going to go with the San Jose Sharks against the Chicago Blackhawks. And
That'd be a very interesting series.
I have the Sharks going to the Stanley Cup final. I said it right here. I know it's nuts. I know everybody's tuning out right now because I'm nuts. But I think the San Jose Sharks are going to be sick and tired of screwing up in the playoffs. I think they go to the finals this year.
I'm going to say Chicago and St. Louis.
Okay.
I have a feeling that St. Louis, nobody's talking about them. Nobody. Same with the Sharks. Nobody is talking about them. But they were a 110-plus point team last year, weren't they? They probably have one of the best. Of course, one of the best lineups in the NHL, along with TJ Oshie. Who else? Who's their goalie?
That's the whole point. Is nobody has a clue. It's like I can't even remember the guy's name.
They had Halak, but they have somebody else now.
Didn't he Did he win the Vezina?
I think Halak went to Florida. St. Louis got Miller, I think, from Buffalo.
Okay, something like that. I don't even remember. But that's why St. Louis is good because I don't know anybody on their team. They're just really good.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go St. Louis against Chicago. I really hate to say it, but I got Chicago in the Cup Finals.
Yeah, it's hard to go against that. They're really good.
As much as I do not like Chicago, and as much as people know that I despise the Chicago Blackhawks, as a Wings fan, that's part of being a Wings fan, is hating the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, I don't like the Chicago Blackhawks. Nah. I like the town and I like their uniforms. They're not.
I like Giordano. His pizza is
good. Yeah, I like Giordano. He's a good guy. There's another guy named Uno.
Oh yes,
he's good too. There's
gotta get that deep dish.
My favorite ladies are Deep Dish and Stuffed. They're good girls.
Man, gotta stuff.
Heck yeah.
Gotta put stuff in the stuff.
So okay, you got Chicago. I've got the Sharks. Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference final, I think, will be. I'm gonna go with the Red Wings in the conference final against. I'm gonna go with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I'm going to take the Penguins to go to the Stanley Cup final. One of two reasons. One, I picked the Red Wings to win the Cup last year, and it wasn't a great year, and there were too many injuries, so I don't want to go with that same path again. So I'm going to go with the Penguins for some good juju for the Red Wings. I think the Penguins go to the Stanley Cup finals to take on the San Jose Sharks.
Oh, I'm going to say, call me nuts if you want to, Philly against, how about the Battle of Pennsylvania? Philly against Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I know I did not pick Pittsburgh to be in the top four, but the last few years we've known that the lower seeds have gone far.
Mm-hmm.
Just ask the Kings and the Devils 3 years ago, I think it was. It was my first year of Twitter, which was, I think, 3 years ago. The Kings were an 8 seed. The Devils were a 6. They met in the Cup Finals.
That's what's great about the Stanley Cup final. That's what's both great and maddening. When you have a great team and you have a great regular season, and some 8th seed who barely gets in knocks you out in the first round, can drive you nuts, but that's what's also great about it. That's why winning the Stanley Cup is really hard, and it's a special occasion when you do it. So who's getting in?
I'm going to say Pittsburgh also. Pittsburgh and Chicago.
Let's go with Pittsburgh Penguins. So we've got Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin, Mr. USSR. That's a good one. So I'm going to just throw mine out there. My Cup final, again, will be the Sharks versus the Penguins. And, I think it's just time. It's time for it to happen. And what I mean by that is that it's time for the San Jose Sharks to collapse, but in the Stanley Cup Finals. And the Penguins win the Stanley Cup over the Sharks.
I'm very surprised that we agree on hockey thoughts now because I despise Chicago. I'm picking Pittsburgh to win the whole thing. Just because I hate the Blackhawks.
And man,
that's why I'm picking the.
Yeah, the Penguins are good. You know, what can I say? They're good. They're doing what the Red Wings are doing. They got these 2 or 3 great players and they've held on to them. But it's hurt them in other areas because they can't go out and buy like another big name to bring in on defense. It's like they've kind of cut and pasted sort of the rest of their team together, but it's like they have such a good, strong core, which is why I think the Red Wings are going to have a good year because I think a lot of experience, a lot of depth now. They don't need to play Dan Cleary anymore. I think Ouellet had a good preseason.
He went down to Grand Rapids.
He did, but I think if Quincy continues to play horribly, that dude might get called up, and he showed a lot of promise. So I think the Red Wings have a lot of options. So it's going to be a fun. I'm really geeked. This will be a fun season.
What happened to Legwand? Did he stay?
Oh, I haven't even heard his name. I think he signed a multi-year contract last year, didn't he?
He might have. I'm not.
Yeah, he actually might be a better player this year for Detroit because he might be a better player for Detroit this year because he's got a year of experience and he'll fit into the system better and he won't be the head guy. He was always one of those dangerous, like, sort of supporting role player guys. So the Wings got a lot to look forward to this year. I still think they're like one little budding superstar away from getting back there and maybe their defense gelling a little bit, but good year for Detroit. I think conference finals for me.
They could very well go there. I mean, the Battle of Pennsylvania for the conference final. I mean, the thing, like you said, the thing about hockey playoffs is that anything and everything can happen.
It can.
I mean, I could be right on and nobody agrees with me, or I could be dead wrong. And I'm probably dead wrong, but I have Pittsburgh and Chicago in the final.
It's almost best to go with a really crazy, final because it could happen. It's like you never freaking know. It's like last year. Who picked the New York Rangers to play the LA Kings in the finals?
John Morosi
None
did.
of these guys did.
John Morosi did, believe it or not. He tweeted that back in April. And I'm like, no. And then all of a sudden, it happens.
And then it happens.
I'm like,
yeah.
What?
Rock on, though. 2 days away. Go Red
Yes.
Wings. NHL's back.
Yes. Go Wings, and we will have frequent shows throughout the NHL season.
Sounds good.
Let's do this. Go Wings. NHL is back.
Go Blue! Red Wings.